Okay, this lesson is going to be on the slope-intercept form of a line. So we want to draw a line that has a slope of 1/2, y-intercept of 0, 3. So we first begin by plotting that y-intercept. So the y-intercept of 0, 3, you just put a dot there, and then use the slope to plot our second point. So the slope is 1/2, so we're going to go up 1 and over 2. Now, I always go up or down. If it's negative, I'd go down. If it's positive, I'd go up. And I always go right. Okay? So over, when I say over, I mean right. Right 2. And we put our second point, and then we can draw our line. And so you want to get pretty good at being able to graph a line in this way. So again, our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So let's find the slope and y-intercept of y equals 3x plus 4. So again, our form is y equals mx plus b. So the slope is the number beside the x once we solve for y, and only once we solve for y. It's already solved for y. So my slope, m, is equal to 3. And what's the y-intercept? And I usually write this as an ordered pair. It's at 4, and so we'll say 0, 4. Pause the video, see if you can do this one. Welcome back. So we know it's y equals mx plus b. So the m is negative 4/5. And the b, the y-intercept, is 0, negative 1. How about this one? 2x plus 3y equals 6. Find the slope and y-intercept. This one's a little bit harder. We have to first solve for y. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. We'll have 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. We'll divide everything through by a 3 and simplify if we can. And so we'll get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. And so our slope is negative 2/3. Y-intercept is at 0, 2. Find the slope and y-intercept of y equals 2. Now this one's a little odd, isn't it? So my slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what's my slope here? We don't have an x term, so what does it have to be? Good. The slope is 0, because 0x would mean it wouldn't be there. And what's my y-intercept? It's b. That is the y-intercept at 2. Now if you recall from our earlier section, that doesn't look good. 0, 2. What kind of line do I have here? Good. I've got a horizontal line, so that's my x and y. I've got a horizontal line through y equals 2. 1, 2. So horizontal lines, slope is 0. Find the slope-intercept equation for the line with a slope of 2, y-intercept is 0, negative 3. Now we're going the other way. So now I give you a slope of 2, y-intercept is 0, negative 3. Write the equation of that line. So again, our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So what is m? 2. So we have y equals 2x plus a negative 3. So we'll just say minus 3. You could leave it as plus negative 3, and that'd be fine. And look at your equation. Does this make sense? The slope of 2, y-intercept of negative 3. It makes sense. Find the slope-intercept equation for the line with a slope of negative 5/6, y-intercept of 0, 7. Pause the video, see if you can do this one. At least mentally try to do it, okay? All right, welcome back. So we're going to have y equals m, which is negative 5/6, x, my 6 didn't show up, plus 7. Example 8. Determine the slope and y-intercept and then graph by hand. So what's my slope here? Good, 3/2 right there. And then the y-intercept is at 0, 1. So we're trying to make all those connections between what we've been doing throughout this lesson on graphing about the equation, the slope, the y-intercept, and its graph. So start by plotting that y-intercept at 0, 1. Slope, we're going to go up 3, and then over 2, put the other dot, and then draw your line. This is a preferred way to graph these when the slope and y-intercept are nice. Now when these get really big or really big decimals or even small decimals are really small, this isn't a great way to do it. But doing this may help you sort of see what that slope does to the line, what the y-intercept means, things like that. Try this one. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can do it. I mean it this time. Try to pause the video, see if you can do this one. Are you ready? All right. So the slope here is -3, y-intercept 0, 2. Really try to get used to writing this as an ordered pair. So plot that point, 0, 2. It's negative slope, so we're going to go down 3 over 1 and put our dot. And then draw your line. Now you probably shouldn't have these little lines here drawn on. You can just sort of count using your pen or pencil. Example 10, determine the slope and y-intercept and then graph by hand. And there's the equation, 5x plus 4y equals 16. So at this point we're going to solve for y. It's the easiest way to get the slope. So to solve for y, you're going to subtract 5x from both sides, divide everything through by 4, and you probably need to split this up. And we can, in the past we've even left something like this. But now we need to extract the slope and y-intercept, and it's much easier if you just divide 4 into each of these terms, especially since one of them actually cancels out. So my slope is this -5/4, and the y-intercept is at 0, 4. And so we do the same thing we've done before in the last few problems. Plot that 0, 4, and then go down 5 over 4 and put your other dot, and then there's your line. Okay, real quick, we'll look at parallel and perpendicular lines. So lines that are parallel, hopefully this is obvious, have the same slope. Lines that are perpendicular, this is not as obvious. The slopes are called negative reciprocals of each other. We usually use this first one right here. So for instance, if I had a line, two lines are perpendicular and one of them had a slope of 2/3, what would the line that's perpendicular have a slope of? Good, -3/2. I flip it and change the sign. What if my line had a slope of a -1/5? What would my line be if they were perpendicular? -5 over 1 or just -5? Or sorry, +5. Whew. Almost confused a few of you there. Okay, so they're negative reciprocals of each other. If I multiply these together, I should get -1. Another way to think about it. Okay, so determine if the equations below represent parallel or perpendicular lines. So we're looking just at each individual set here. So this first set right here. Are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So they're certainly not the same, right? This one has a slope of 3, this one has a slope of 1/3. Are they negative? So they're not parallel. We know they're not parallel. How about are they perpendicular? Are they negative reciprocals of each other? They're reciprocals, but they're not negative reciprocals. They have exactly the same sign. Perpendicular lines will always have opposite signs. So these are neither. We'll say N for neither. What about the second one? I need to solve the second equation through for y, right? So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. I'll have 3y equals 2x plus 4 and divide by 3. Okay, so the slope of the second equation is 2/3. Slope of the first equation is 2/3. These lines are parallel. Let's say parallel here. How about this third set? They're definitely not the same. They're opposite signs. Are they negative reciprocals of each other? They are. This one has a slope of 4/3. This one has a slope of -4/3. So these lines are perpendicular. Okay, now how can we sort of apply that to types of problems we'll be looking at? So write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals 3x plus 2 and has a y-intercept of 0, 4. So if my line, I need two things to write the equation of a line, right? What are they? A slope and a point. In fact, in this lesson, we need to have the y-intercept. In a later lesson, all we actually need is a point, but in this lesson, we really need the y-intercept. So, do I know the slope? Am I given the slope? Not explicitly, though, but my line's parallel to this line. So I find the slope of this line, I will necessarily have the slope of my line. What's the slope of this line? 3. So what's the slope of my line? 3. Good. So my line, the equation of my line is y equals slope of 3, x plus 4. That's its y-intercept. Okay, similar question, except this time my line's perpendicular. So again, I need two things, the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is at 4. What about the slope? My line is perpendicular to this line. So this line is a slope of 3, so what's the slope of my line going to be? Good, negative 1/3. It's the negative reciprocal of 3. I flip it, change its sign. So my equation is y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4. And that's going to be it for this lesson.